area just outside Monsoon and Halton Barrett. We're about to kick off tonight's beauty event. We're doing a makeup demo using dupes. Basically, a dupe, if you don't know, is a more purse-friendly version of a super high-end product. Still really, really good quality, but if you're maybe in tonight doing a bit of Christmas shopping, particularly maybe for your teenage daughters or nieces or friends, or maybe you want something to be a bit more budget-friendly for your weekday makeup, or you're just generally trying to save at this time of year, as we all are, I know I am, then we've got some really, really good value dupes for you tonight. I've got my lovely model here, Kim. I'm going to do a full face of makeup on her using exclusively dupes that you can get here in Forest Side. And we're going to kick off first of all with our primer. Now, primer is one of those products that came on the market, well, it's been around for ages, but it became a real trendy buzzword about 6 or 7 years ago. And people started applying their makeup all the time with primer. Now, primer is not a product you need every single day. It's full on, it's for staying power on your face. So day to day, moisturizer should be enough to give you a base. But if you're going out, especially this time of year, you're maybe going from the office to a Christmas party to another Christmas party, and then you want to look good for your date at the end of the night, you're definitely going to want to get some primer. So we're going to use the e.l.f. Illuminating Face Primer. This is £9, and it's a dupe for a product that is £40 in Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Face Primer. It's one of their best sellers, and I'm really excited to see how this is going to look on Kim's face. So what we want to do is apply this to the face, particularly to the areas that are going to tend to get shiny, like your T-zone, so your forehead, down the nose.
It smells lovely.
Kim's just commenting that it smells lovely. Oh, it really does.
It's like melony, sort of like a melony kind of a smell. Lovely.
So this is going to give us a lovely base for our makeup to stick to. It's going to add staying power. That makeup is not going to budge all night long whenever you get your primer on. And I think the nicest way to apply primer is just using your ring finger so you can gently pat it onto the skin. And that primer has added a lovely little glow to the skin. It's blurred out the pores. It's absolutely gorgeous. So when you do makeup, when it comes to the order of doing things, if you're going to do a super smoky eye or you're going to do a glittery eye, I would recommend doing your eye makeup at this point, and then you can clear up any fallout underneath the eye and then do your foundation afterwards. But because I'm going to stick to a more natural look tonight, I'm going to do the foundation now, and we are using the NYX Born to Glow foundation. It's only £10 and it's a dupe for the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, which I have used and loved for quite a few years, so I'm really excited to see how this dupe is going to measure up. NYX is such a lovely, lovely brand. Sort of like mid-price range, but a tenner for a foundation is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to apply this first of all with a flat brush. And then just blend it out.
Again, smells nice.
And that colour is absolutely beautiful for Kim. Now, when it comes to matching your foundation, this is something quite a lot of people do struggle with. And I think whenever you're young, you're told, you know, you should match your foundation to your jawline or on the back of your hand. The best tip is actually to match your foundation to your neck and your chest, so you're not walking around with like a white face and maybe a tan neck and chest, or vice versa. You want to make sure you're going to be the same colour the whole way down your body. A good tip is, particularly with these more purse-friendly foundations, to stock up on a couple of colours. One that's going to be your everyday colour, like this would be for Kim, and then one for whenever you've maybe got like your fake tan on for a night out, and then you're not having to go mad with the bronzer over your skin. You'll have one that's just the right colour at all times, and then you can do a wee bit of mixing as well for those in-between stages. This foundation is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful coverage. A nice glow, it's very fresh, and I feel like that coverage would actually be buildable. So if you did want a slightly fuller coverage, you could actually go in with a second layer, but I think for Kim, that's really, really stunning. Just look up for me.
Big bags.
You have no big bags at all. I think it always helps whenever you have a beautiful face to work on, of course.
Okay, thank you, Mummy.
Now the next product I'm going to use is a liquid highlighter. illuminator. And I'm putting that on now before I do any powder. As a rule of thumb for makeup, you want to do all your liquid and cream products first before you set, because if you were to put setting powder on this and then try and put a liquid product on the top, it would go really cakey and start to flake off and get clumpy, which is not what we want. If you just look up for me. So you do cream on cream, then powder on powder. Beautiful. So the highlight that I'm going to use is the Revolution Bright Light Highlighter. This is £8 and it's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. Again, that is a product that I have in my makeup bag and very rarely use because it is quite pricey. I'm like, it's got to be a real special occasion to break that out. But I love it so much, so I'm really, really hoping this is going to be a brilliant dupe that I can get that gorgeous glow every single day of the week. It's a brand new product, I'm just giving it a good old twist here. So it just comes out the wee pores on the top of the wand. I'm going to take that in the back of my hand. It's looking absolutely beautiful, very light reflective. And I'm just going to pop this along the top of Kim's cheekbones. So if you ever want to find out where the tops of your cheekbones are, the area that you should be highlighting, run your finger from the tip of your ear, pretty much diagonally down, and that'll give you the top. You want to feel the top of the bone whenever you're putting this sort of product on. And then I don't want to rub this because I don't want to upset the foundation, so I'm just going to pat it on with a beauty blender. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge, $5.99, a dupe for the $17.99 beauty blender. I'm just going to bounce that on the highlight, which I have to say is working really beautifully with this foundation. You can see she's just got a gorgeous highlight now to the top of her cheek. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. So natural, you go out just like that, but of course we are going to keep going and make you very, very glam this evening. So that's actually all the cream product I'm going to use. I'm not going to be going in with cream contour or any concealer or anything. I think that foundation is good enough coverage that we don't need a concealer. Lucky you. And I think we're just going to create the cheekbones that we want using a wee bronzer. So I am just now going to set that with a powder. What I do whenever I'm using a powder is just give it a little tap, shake a bit of it into the lid, and then I can always go back for more. It's just getting a fluffy brush, dabbing into that, tapping off the excess, again back into the lid so I'm not wasting any. And I'm just gonna pat that onto the skin.
So the big fluffy brush.
Big fluffy brush for this. And you wanna pat this on rather than smearing the foundation.
Okay. I'm learning.
The only area I'm going to avoid here with this powder is the highlight, because I don't want to kill that shine.
Right.
Whereas this powder is mattifying, it's for staying power.
Yep.
So we want to make sure we keep the shine, but matte down the rest of the face. So if you are going on a night out, in the winter, say you do have a long day and then you're heading straight out, or you just go out for the evening, like you've just got fresh ready. Everywhere you go this time of the year has the heating on. The heating's blasting, so you might only be there for 5 minutes and you might find your makeup starting to run already, but with a good primer and a good powder, your makeup should be good to go all night long. And that has set absolutely beautifully. I can't wait for you to see yourself at the end.
I'm going to buy all of these products. I really need new products.
So what I'm going to do now is your wee cheeks. I love doing cheeks. So I'm going to go in first of all with my Maybelline City Bronzer. So the way I said that you feel the top of your cheekbone by running your finger from the top of your ear down, you feel the bottom of your cheekbone by pressing your thumb in under those cheeks. That's where you want it to go. Think back in the 80s when our mummies were like learning how to do their makeup or teaching you how to do your makeup. They used to say suck in your cheek and put the bronzer there. That's the back of your teeth. Your cheekbone's about 2 inches higher than that, so this is where you want to be placing your contour. So I'm just putting that underneath the cheekbone. This is just going to give us a lovely sculpted look.
So that's under the cheekbone and then the highlighter was above it.
So that's under the cheekbone and then highlight goes above. Basically putting a dark bronzer product on. It's a trick of the eye, so that darker shade makes it look like the face is receding in. That's the face that we want to slim. And then we want to lift the cheekbone, which is why we put a light reflecting product there. And then I'm going to take this beautiful blusher. It's a really nice, like, sparkly peachy pink. This is called Third Base from Rimmel. And then this goes on the apples of your cheeks. So if you could smile for me. Just brings the face back to life. So these leave fleshy parts in front of the cheeks. And whilst the highlighter is still glowing away here, I'm conscious that it is a cream product and that would tend to slip throughout the night, so I'm going to just set it with a little bit of a highlight. What I'm going to use actually is an eyeshadow. So I've got this eyeshadow palette, which I'm going to introduce you to very shortly. But this is a good tip. A powder highlight with sort of a neutral tone and a bit of a shine to it can also double as your highlighter. So not only are we talking dupes, but we're also talking products that you can double up on, which is very, very handy. It's just on a small highlighter brush. I'm going to go over that area that I highlighted earlier with the illuminator. And this will just add staying power and a little bit more depth and definition.
So that's the highlighter brush. What does it look like?
So highlighter brush is a little small, fluffy brush.
Small, fluffy. I have all these brushes and I don't really know which one's which.
I'll come over someday and I'll teach you. So another couple of areas that it can be quite nice to pop a wee bit of highlighter if you want is on the tip of the nose and on your cupid's bow, just to make those pop. So I'm just going to do that. Makes it look like you're sun-kissed, like you've just come in from the garden in Spain, maybe not in Northern Ireland. Beautiful. So now we are going to move on to the eyes. If you just close your eyes for me. Just close your eyes for me a sec. So what you want to do is just make sure there's no wee grease creases on your eyelid before you start. So just give that a wee wipe with your ring finger. Because if you put powder on top of creased foundation or like a little bit of oil on your eye, then that's going to set whenever you add a powder onto it. Now I've got
you don't put foundation here.
You can put foundation on your eyelids or an eye primer. Kim doesn't have a highly pigmented eyelid, so I don't need to neutralise any colour on the eyelid. But if you do, sometimes particularly around your time of the month and things, your eyelids can go a little bit more purple or red, and some people just naturally have a more pigmented eyelid. So you can absolutely add foundation, concealer. If you have extremely greasy or oily eyelids, an eye primer is an excellent product to invest in. But if you're trying to save a few pennies, foundation and concealer generally does the same trick. So I'm going to use two palettes tonight. The first is the Revolution Ultimate Nude palette, which is a dupe for the Nude Obsessions range. So this palette is £6. This is £6 versus £27, which is absolutely amazing. And then we've also got the Revolution, which one have we got? The Pro Regeneration palette, which is $8.99, a dupe for the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. And look at the sparkle, I'm just covering up the mirror so don't blind you, but it's absolutely beautiful. Now what I'm going to do tonight on you is a soft, smoky eye, okay? So there's not going to be loads of blacks or much fallout or anything, so I'm happy enough that I've done your foundation. But we're just going to make you look really, really gorgeous and glam, something that you could wear to the office during December. Then if you have to nip out to an event afterwards, you're good to go. So what I'm going to do is start by highlighting the brow bone, which is going to be my lightest shade. So I'm going to use this here, which is a neutral tone, pale neutral tone with a shine to it. Again, the brow bone is an area that it's nice to add a little bit of shine to because it gives that depth and dimension to the face. So your cheekbones protrude naturally, as do your eyebrows, or your brow bones rather. So those are the areas that you want to add light to. And I'm starting with this as it is the lightest shade, and I don't want to try and go over anything dark with it later on. So just popping that right up to the brow. And then we're going to do the lid. So for your eyelids, it's always best just to use a flat brush. You cover lots of surface area nice and quickly. It's easy to pick up plenty of colour. I'm trying to decide, there's so many beautiful colours here. I think I'm actually going to go for this one from the more rosy palette. This is called Effect. And it's a very, very soft, shimmery copper almost, but not too much of an orange tone. It's more browns, which I think is going to be lovely with your brown hair and blue eyes. So again, I keep doing that just to tap off the excess. At home, you'd probably just blow on the brush, but you know, we're being professional here. So if you close your eyes for me, what I'm going to do is just pat that onto the lid rather than smearing it on. And that means we just get plenty of payoff from the colour. That is a beautiful buttery shadow that goes on really, really nice and easily. And I'm only taking that to the end of the eyelid, where the lash line ends. That's where my eyeshadow ends. Oh, that's such a nice colour. It makes your eyes pop so beautifully. I think when it comes to like a day to night look, you really can't go wrong with a soft smoky. You know, personally, I don't like to go into the office rocking a big glittery eye or a big black smoky eye or something, but equally if I'm heading out, I don't want to be totally natural. I want a wee bit of a smoke. So this is sort of the perfect compromise that we're going to create tonight. Beautiful. What I want to do now is take what's called a transition colour. So this is the colour that's going to tie together the light shade on the brow bone and the more bold colour on the eye. So it's going to be a neutral and a matte colour. You want to use a matte because again, the same way that we cause the trick of the eye where the cheekbones go in to make it look slimmer, this is going to push back the eye socket to give more depth to your eyes. So I'm going to take probably a mix of these two neutral tones for my transition colour. Tap off my brush. Just close your eyes for me. And what you want to do is take sort of a medium fluffy brush and buff that into the crease and just diffuse any harsh lines. So just blend. That's your best friend whenever it comes to eye makeup, or makeup in general. A good blend. Now what I'm going to do is just smoke up those corners a little bit. So for that, I'm going to take a dark chocolatey brown. Just a bit softer than going in with a black. And this is with a sort of little bullet brush. Just close your eyes for me. And that's just going to go on the outer corner of the eye. And again, we're just going to blend. So there's no harsh lines. And this adds that sort of sultry little look to the outer corner of the eye. Palettes make such a great Christmas present or present for any time, present to yourself, either way, because you get so many colours, you have so many options and styles that you can create with this amount of colours and different textures as well. And as I say, some of these products can double up. You could use them as highlights, you could use them as contours, even the wee pinky sparkly ones here, wee lovely blushes. And for like £6 for that massive palette, yes please. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is take this darkest brown colour here and I'm going to create a little wing on the outer corner of the eye. Again, this is such a nice alternative to using full-on gel liner or liquid liner. You can create a soft wing to give a more elongated and sexy shape to the eye without fussing too much. The other thing is as well, liquid liner can be so difficult, and it's always when you're in a rush or you have somewhere important to be that you have one wing that's coming up this way, the other one's sloping way down here. They're not sisters or even twins or related in any way, shape or form. So a wee soft wing using a shadow is nice and easy. I'm going to use this angled eyebrow brush. You just close your makeup. I'm just going to create a very soft wing on the outer corner of the eye. And using an angled eyebrow brush is so easy for this because it naturally comes to a point. Just open for me. And open and look straight ahead. And it's very, very soft and demure. Just like Kim herself. So I'm going to take that same dark brown on a little small eyeshadow brush, right up for me. I'm going to run that underneath the lash line. And one thing with eye makeup is it's never finished. till it's finished. So if you ever get halfway through an eye makeup and go, what am I doing? This doesn't look like the tutorial. Trust the process. So what we're going to do now is take, what do I fancy? I'm going to take this, which is sort of like a brick colour. It's like a reddish brown. I'm going to take that on a little fluffier brush. Just look up for me, and that's going to just blend out that dark brown that we just put underneath to create a really, really sexy smoke underneath. The other thing as well is if you are watching makeup tutorials or you're wondering why your makeup isn't turning out like the girl on YouTube or TikTok, try to find people online who have a similar face shape and a similar eye shape to you, because if you have a round eye shape and you're constantly watching someone with maybe a hooded eye or a more cat-like eye, you'll be like, why does that application not work for me? So if you watch someone who sort of resembles your face a little bit more, it's going to work a lot better. It's like if you go to the hairdressers and I say to my hairdresser, I want to look like Kim Kardashian, they're like, well, so does everybody love, but I'm not a magician. You know? If you work with your features instead of against them, then you're always going to do your best. Just like that. I'm just going to soften a couple of wee lines here with a clean brush. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to go in with our mascara. And for our mascara, we are using the Maybelline The Falsies Instant Lash Lift Mascara, which is priced at £10 and is a dupe for the NARS Climax Mascara, which is more than double the price. It's £22. I can already see this is a really, really black inky mascara. So if you just look down to your knees for me, just look down to your knees, that's it. I'm just going to lift and apply. And I always like to do a couple of coats of mascara whenever I'm not wearing falsies. I love a false lash, but sometimes a really fab mascara does just the same amount of work. Great lashes. And down again. And as a wee tip, if you're ever doing your mascara and you open your eyes or look up too quickly, you get those annoying little dots above your eye, absolute bane of your life when you're in a rush. Just like that. The best thing to do is wait for them to dry. Don't start going in there with a cotton bud that you've licked or something. Like, just let them dry and then they'll flake off naturally. Just as a wee tip. Yeah, I mean, do as I say, not as I do. Usually I'm going straight in there with the cotton bud, but it honestly does work. And like down one more time, just get one more layer on this fantastic mascara.
Is it good? Yeah.
It really, really is. And I really used to think like, oh, mascara is a mascara, but honestly, as I've gotten a bit older and wiser, I think a really good mascara is such a good tool to have in your makeup bag. Look at that. Whoa, gorgeous. I'm going to let those dry for a little second before I go into the bottom lashes, because if I get her to look up right now, we're going to get the dots and I don't have any cotton buds here. So I'm going to take the wee NYX eyebrow glue. I absolutely love this, and it's a dupe for a lot of the more expensive sort of brow soaps and things that are on the market at the moment. So I'm just going to brush the brows up. Kim has lovely brows anyway. They're a great shape, but just to give them a little bit more texture, a little bit of a fluffy brow, I'm going to brush those up. And as the name would suggest, brow glue, this just glues your brows in place. It's very sad for people like me, this lovely fluffy brow trend. I overplucked my brows in the noughties, as maybe a lot of people did. My brows are now tattooed. There's nothing that can be done for them. This is how they look when I go to sleep, when I wake up, when I go out. It is what it is. So Kim, luckily, does have some eyebrow hair to play with, which is great. So I can fluff those up. If it was a bit more patient, I can create, fake brow strokes on myself.
Really?
Who has the time?
Oh, goodness me.
And they're doing what suits them, what they want to do, and that's what it's all about. It's not about sticking to a trend or whatever like the latest hottest thing is. As long as you find something that makes you feel fab and feel really, really comfortable, whether that be a different colour or a different style, there's a product for you out there now, and there's someone you can look up to and emulate. And I think that's what makeup should be, just great fun. And I think as more and more, as more and more of these dupe products sort of pop up, it's going to become, you know, a lot more accessible for everyone to sort of recreate whatever makeup look they want, which is great. So now I said earlier about doubling up with products. We've used our eyeshadow palette as a highlighter. You could use it as blush, you could use it as contour. What I'm going to do now is take one of the dark browns and actually use that as a little bit of brow powder on him. There you go, the more you know.
I did not know you could do that, okay.
Yeah, so what you want to make sure, crucially, is one, that you don't go with the black. You don't want it to be like super, super strong and scary. Also that you pick a colour that's sort of similar to your own eyebrow hair colour. But mainly that you're choosing a matte eyeshadow, so you're not getting super shiny, glittery eyebrows. Unless that is the vibe you're going for. It is Christmas. Sparkle is very welcome. But I think today we'll stick with the matte brows. We'll try sparkle brows sometime. That sounds like fun. So I'm just going to take a nice chocolate brown onto my little angled eyebrow brush. And I'm just going to do very, very delicate little hair-like strokes through the brow. We don't want to create anything too heavy. Just want to emphasize the beautiful brow shape that Kim already has.
Cover up the greys.
Cover up the greys, absolutely. So you want to focus the most of the product at the end of the brow. At the front of the brow, you know, it's nice if it's a little bit lighter and fluffier. Little hair-like strokes all the way to the end. And as you can see, it hasn't totally changed the brow, but it's just defined it that little bit more. And if you're someone who maybe, like me, has overplucked your brows and you don't have yours tattooed on, if you want to ever figure out where your eyebrows should start, end and arch, just take a thin brush. Your eyebrows should start from the outside of your nose, goes past the inner corner of your eye, so your eyebrows starting in the exact right place. The tail should end from the outside of your nose to the outer corner of your eye. And then just directly above your pupil is ideally where you'd like your arch to be. Obviously everyone has different brow shapes. Some people have straighter brows, some people are blessed with beautiful arch naturally, but if you're wanting to like emulate that classic arched brow shape, that's a little guide for you. And then just taking this little spoolie on the top, just going to brush those up once again. That's going to disperse the product that I used earlier, the little glue, and really, really help those brows keep in place all night long. There's so many great brow products you can use. Obviously, you've now got pencils and pomades and waxes and felt tips even, and crayons. But for a simple look, for the sake of doubling up on products and something that's quick and easy, I think using a shadow is a really, really good tip. So at this point, when you've got your eyes done, you've got your lashes done, maybe you've got your falsies popped on if you're going for a more extreme look, you want to just survey the face and go, right, what do I want more of? Is there anything that I want to do to this before I set it? Okay, so I'm just going to have a little look. I think I'm going to pop on a little bit more blush, just so you're extra flushed and gorgeous. Blusher is really, really back. I remember whenever I used to do makeup at the start, about 6 years ago, people were always a little bit scared of blusher because I think you thought you were going to look like, you know, Kylie in the 80s with these big, bright pink, rosy cheeks. Not that there's anything wrong with Kylie in the 80s, but I think now people are really embracing it. And a lot of young people are actually carrying their blush really high. They're blushing their noses. I even saw someone using blush as an under eye setting powder the other day. So, like I said, there's no rules anymore. You can do whatever you wish. And let me just see. I think I'm happy with the rest of that. So what I'm going to do now is the lip. Now there's a lipstick, I'm sure a lot of you may have heard of it. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. It's the go-to colour for nude lip and for bridal. And I'm getting married in March. I don't really want to spend £26 on a lipstick. I know it's a wedding, but you know, I've spent enough. So I really hope one of these two dupes is going to do the trick tonight. Kim, we have got
perfect
Chauffeur and Heart Race. Which one of these? is taking your
That's
fancy.
slightly more orangey, and let's go for the darker one.
A wee darker
Slightly
one?
darker one.
Sort of more mocha tone.
I'm interested in this. I've spent so many £20 here
Yeah.
on these lipsticks that are okay, but not.
Well, what I'm noticing about this is it looks really, really buttery. It looks soft. Sometimes lipsticks can dry your lips out quite badly. I don't tend to wear a lipstick all that often for that reason, but if you get a really nice formula and it's soft and creamy, then it's an absolute godsend because it really does just wake up your face slapping on a wee bit of lipstick. So this one is, you've gone for Chauffeur. This is £6.45, so you're saving yourself 20 quid on this, which is absolutely brilliant. Just going to apply it with a lip brush.
What brand's that? I'm asking you hard questions now.
I haven't got a brand down for the lipsticks. This is Revolution as well.
Good old Revolution.
Good old Revolution. You can't go wrong with a
Good old
Revolution.
Revolution.
So I'm just getting plenty of lipstick on both sides of my brush. That is such a beautiful colour, oh my goodness. I'm definitely gonna have to try this myself. Oh, that is a gorgeous colour on you.
Are you loving it?
Yeah, I love it. It's absolutely perfect. It's made just the rest of the makeup pop so beautifully. Now what I'm going to do is set this. So this is the Makeup Revolution. Again, Conceal and Defy Infinite Setting Spray. £8. And this is another Charlotte Tilbury dupe. This is for the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, which is 26.
26 is very pricey, isn't it?
Which is quite a lot. So just close your eyes for me. What's lovely about a setting spray, we already have our primer on, we have our powder on, so we've got the stay on power. You don't necessarily need a setting spray. What I really like about it, and this one in particular, is it just adds a little bit of dewiness back into the skin so you're not all powdery and cakey. But let's see. Gorgeous, a face full of dupes on our lovely Kim. If anyone wants to see any of these products up close, you're very, very welcome to come up. I've got prices and things here. I'm not a saleswoman, just doing a demo, but I would actually recommend checking these out because they're absolutely beautiful products and they can all be bought right here. And if anyone has any questions for me or you want me to try anything on you, then you're very, very welcome to come up. But thank you so much for watching.